Even with modern technological advancements, we as humans know very little about the deep waters that cover our planet. In their cold, dark depths, our oceans and seas hide mighty secrets of which we know little about. As such, you can imagine the terrors and horrors our forefathers experienced as they battled angry seas, tempests, and huge waves in their pitiful wooden vessels. Fortunately, in ancient Greece, the people knew exactly who to call on for safe passage through the sea and bountiful catches. Poseidon, the son of Cronus and Rhea. During the Titanomachy, when the Olympian gods went to war against the Titans, Poseidon fought beside his brothers Zeus and Hades. After their hard-earned victory, the three cast lots to divide the world between themselves. As a result, Zeus became the ruler of the skies, Hades the underworld, and Poseidon the seas. And what a fortuitous draw it was! For Poseidon embodied the very same characteristics of the domain he was destined to rule. Like the seas, he was of variable disposition. He could be calm and placid in one instant before becoming violently agitated in the other. It's no wonder that the poets are split in their description of the great sea god, with some painting a picture of a quiet and composed figure, and others describing a disturbed and angry one. In the earliest ages of Greek mythology, Poseidon merely symbolized the watery element. However, as Greece's population grew and their sea might advanced, Poseidon's influence increased, and he came to be regarded as the ultimate ruler of all seas and sea divinities. By his will, fierce tempests accompanied by mountain-like waves could sweep across the ocean surface. Still, it was in his power to calm the angry waters and grant safe passage to mariners. It is for this reason that both voyagers and fishermen invoked Poseidon and pacified him with sacrifices and libations before and after their expeditions. In many ancient paintings, Poseidon appears as a strong, mature man with a dark beard. On his face is a moody disposition that betrays his affinity to violence and anger. His right hand bears a golden trident, which acts as a symbol of his power. With it, Poseidon could raise islands from the sea and form springs in dry land. Striking the trident into the ground also produced massive earthquakes, a power that earned Poseidon the nickname Earthshaker. Now that we've established the nature of Poseidon, let's take a close look at how he was worshipped. As already mentioned, fishermen and those journeying over water were his primary adherents. Considering this, it's little surprise that Poseidon was particularly concentrated in countries that bordered the sea, and those where fish was a primary commodity of trade. His followers believed that the sea god voiced his displeasure through massive floods, capable of wiping entire countries off the map. As if the thought of all of the land falling under water is not enough, these floods would be accompanied by terrifying sea monsters who'd ravish and devour any survivors. According to some experts, these monsters might act as poetical figures representing the hunger and famine that normally follows floods. Ancient Greeks also credited Poseidon with the existence of the horse. A tale is told that both Athena and Poseidon claimed the right to name Cecropia, which was the great city of Athens before it became known by its current name. To settle their dispute, an assembly of the gods was called. In classical Greek fashion, where disputes are solved through contests, it was concluded that the party that would give mankind the most useful gift would enjoy the privilege of naming the city. Poseidon went up first and struck the ground with his trident. From the earth, a magnificent creature emerged, well-built yet graceful, swift yet noble, with a coat like polished ebony and a mane that draped its neck like a waterfall of silk. Before everyone stood the first horse. Athena went up second. She too touched the ground with her wand, and an olive tree sprung up from the spot. The gods declared Athena's gift a symbol of peace and plenty, while that of Poseidon as one of war and bloodshed. With that, Athena won the right to rename Cecropia, and triumphantly named it after herself. And that's how the city of Athens came to be known by its name. Consequently, Poseidon's is usually associated with the trident, horse, and dolphin. So, How does Poseidon play his role as a god? Owing to their siblinghood, Poseidon closely resembles Zeus in physical build. Thanks to his violent disposition, his face lacks the kindness and benignity that's associated with Zeus. Whenever his presence is required, Poseidon comes calling in a graceful shell chariot drawn by the most magnificent seahorses you can think of. So graceful and swift is their charge that Poseidon's chariot barely touches the water as they barrel forward. True to his realm, Poseidon's palace was found at the bottom of the Sea of Aegea. Beneath the crashing white waves, the palace cut a regal figure that could make any god jealous. The exterior was covered with solid bright gold, which the continual wash of the waters preserved untarnished. Lofty and grand columns adorned the inside and held up a gleaming dome. The compound was littered with fountains of glistening silvery water, groves of the most vibrant sea flowers, and beds of pure iridescent crystals that shot forth rainbows. And let's not even mention the crisscrossing white sand paths that were interspersed with jewels, pearls, and amber. During the day, Poseidon enjoyed watching fish of all kinds dart in and out of the caves of bright pink seaweed and emerald grasses that grew like a wall around the palace. At night, glowworms lit up the entire compound with the light of 1,000 tiny moons. However, despite ruling over his own element, Poseidon remained subservient to Zeus, ruler of the skies and king of all gods. Several times, Poseidon even came to the rescue of Zeus. For instance, when the giants threatened to usurp Zeus's reign, Poseidon single-handedly fought a hideous giant whom he destroyed by hurling upon him the island of Kos. Nevertheless, it was not always sunny between the two brothers. Once Poseidon joined ranks with Hera and Athena in a plot to overthrow the ruler of the skies and chain him up. Unfortunately for them, their conspiracy was soon discovered by Zeus. As punishment, Poseidon was made to forego his dominion over the sea for a whole year. When it comes to relationships, Poseidon was just like his brother. Zeus is well known for going to great lengths to achieve his love conquests. And so is Poseidon, who's renowned for his many consorts, some whom he took willingly, some by force, and others by deception. His wife was a sea nymph called Amphitrite, who was famous for her beauty and the serenity of her nature. At first she rejected Poseidon's advances. The sea god then turned himself into a dolphin and managed to win her over. When depicted with her husband, Amphitrite represents the calm aspects of the sea, which stand in contrast to Poseidon's tumultuous nature. At one point in their marriage, Poseidon became enchanted by a beautiful maiden named Scylla. The sea god completely fell under the charms of her love and would spend inordinate amounts of time with her. Slowly, Amphitrite became jealous and vowed to avenge herself. To do so, she threw a mixture of herbs into a well where Scylla was bathing. These transfigured the lovely maiden into an ugly monster of 6 heads with 6 long necks, 12 feet, and a voice like an angry bark. From that day on, Scylla is said to have inhabited a cave on a towering rock from which she would swoop down and snatch victims from passing ships. Thanks to his numerous relationship exploits, Poseidon is rumored to have sired more than 200 offspring. Some of the many notable ones include the Cyclops, a race of giants bearing a mono-eye in the middle of their foreheads. Just like the Earth Giants, they too led proud lives, respecting neither mankind nor fearing the gods. They were said to be the workmen of Hephaestus, whose workshop resided in the heart of the volcanic mountain of Etna. Day and night they labored in their forges. It is believed that the smoke from Mount Etna was them working the bellows, and whenever they struck their anvils hard enough, fire, brimstone, and ash would pour from the mountain. The leader of the Cyclopes was a man-eating monster known as Polyphemus. At one point, Polyphemus fell in love with a beautiful nymph called Galatea. However, the fair nymph would have none of the giant's advances. How could she? After all, on top of her charm, she had her eyes set on a young man named Aces. In his usual depravity, Polyphemus flew into a fit of rage, seized ACIs, and threw him upon a gigantic rock with all his might. With this travesty, the blood of ACIs came gushing out of the rock and formed a stream that still bears his name to this very day. Some more of Poseidon's famed offspring are Otus and Ephialtes. Like the Cyclops, they too were giants. It is said that at just 9 years old, they already measured 27 cubits in height and 9 in breadth. In modern units of measurement, they would be 41 feet tall and 13 feet wide. Similarly, they were devilishly rebellious. This became all too apparent during the war between the giants and the gods, the Gigantomachy. During the battle, the two giants set out to scale heaven by piling the tallest mountains upon each other. True to their might, they succeeded in setting Mount Ossa on Olympus and Mount Pelion on Osa. Unfortunately for them, they would fall under Apollo's arrows, which proved fatal. So serious was the threat they posed that, to date, the gods still believe their goal would have been achieved had Apollo not intervened in time. With so many children to his name, it's little wonder why Poseidon was also worshipped as a fertility god. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more content. It helps this channel reach more audience, which in return helps us create more videos for you guys. Don't forget to share and leave a comment too. Until next time, take care.